Back to back, baby. I can't remember if anybody else in our little clique watches the Joe Rogan Experience. I think on my last channel I'd gotten criticized for doing that. I don't know if you guys have been following the Terrence Howard being on that. Guy is kind of known for claiming 1 × 1 = 2, and there's this math that they're trying to keep you away from the sacred geometry and all kinds of other what some experts are calling like a word salad. Similar to, they're implying it's similar to what they call the word salad when somebody's trying to speak a little science into the flat earth. So I've watched like a lot of flat earth videos, and I dig them. What I dig about them isn't the flat earth person or the drama of a person seemingly being made a fool of. I dig the scientific response. Like, well, no, you've miscalculated this angle because the formula we actually use for this is something pi r squared. And then I look that up, and lo and behold, the person was pushing everything off of a false premise. But they do so in an authoritative tone. And something in a podcast I was just listening to before starting this recording, it was in response to Terrence Howard and Eric Weinstein being on the Joe Rogan Experience recently. The guy talks about the intoxication of authority, meaning that people are intoxicated by an authoritative tone. So if somebody speaks confidently enough that they know what they seem to know what they're talking about, to have the confidence to put so many things together that seem to go together, and people go for it, and it works. And it made me wonder why it works. And it could be something that, Shafe, you might have been talking about in your video. And I think it's something that if we could draw on some of your psychology training, could it be that if me as a normie, like a normal viewer, if I look at the world with a bunch of doubt and lack of understanding, when a figure comes along in a position of understanding and speaks of understanding, like in a way that almost makes sense, like if words rhyme but they don't actually go together kind of shit, if I'm making sense, then I think that's what we get with this meme culture. And I worry for it, because there's been some things that I've seen that are just absolute BS. So I'm curious what everybody else thinks about this, because I think it really is a problem. And I think here now we're going to have the opportunity to see some pretty good examples of it, and we'll continue to see examples. I'm just not sure about a way out. Besides, if we could wave a magic wand and, revamping the education system and teaching people to once again have a skeptical mind. But, when you've got supposedly authority figures lying to the public and people are able to catch them on their BS, whose lie is more? It's an interesting time, has me a little bit baffled, but I think I've spoken to it before. There's a YouTube short video, and it has to do with a guy goes to a hotel and gives the hotel clerk a certain amount of money, but it's $3 more than what it was supposed to cost. So the person gives the bellboy the change, and then the bellboy brings the $3 refund up to the guest at the hotel, and then the guest at the hotel, he tells the guest, hey, the refund was only $1, and so he gives them that dollar, and then bellboy goes ahead and keeps it, and then the guy has this smug look on his face like, well, where did the other dollar come from? Like, so if he gives back 2 and he already had 3 and he gives them 1, well, now it's 4. Where does that make sense? There's shit like that, and I did a bad job explaining it, but hopefully you know what I'm talking about. It's like fast cash. It's like, where does the other dollar come from? Keep your eye on the P. It's under the shell. Don't look at the shell. Keep your eye on the P. All right. What do y'all think?